Kongversation.
Satan just handed me my hell work assignment. Whoops! I wiped my ass with that one too.
Hello and welcome to the Kongversation. I'm Hyle Russell.
And I am Gibbon.
And welcome back, Gibbon, my designated mobile game co-host. Here we are again.
That seems to be how it's working out, yeah.
Yeah, no slight to you, Gibbon, because you are console quality, do not worry. It's just, I like symmetry, and we last discussed together Mario Kart Tour. I want to say Mario Kart World, because it feels like the title should be Mario Kart World, but it's Mario Kart Tour.
I feel like it should be Mario Kart Odyssey, honestly.
Well, whatever. Now we're discussing Dr. Mario Dr. Mario World. Fuck. It wasn't intentional. Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong were added to Dr. Mario World this past Halloween. Despite the game coming out on July 9th, the game became officially Donkey Kong Universe on October 31st. So I have no idea how I'm listing that on the games page yet. We have not added it to the games page yet because I'm just like, I don't know how to designate that. It's a bit of a Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle situation.
We list iDarb and Minecraft on the dates that DKU characters were added to them, so I don't see why they should be any different.
I guess it's just there's people are gonna get weird about it as they often do. But screw it, it's my website. I don't care what you think. So speaking of Halloween, though, October has come and gone, and I feel like I need to bring this up right from the start because I know people are in a blind panic about it. Shuntaro Furukawa never appeared on the Kongversation. Nintendo president Shuntaro Furukawa, hyper fan of portable RPG golf games, did not appear on the Mario Golf Game Boy Color Spotlight episode. In fact, there was no Mario Golf Game Boy Color Spotlight episode in October because I have not found an appropriate co-host to match the magnitude, to match the grandeur of the president of Nintendo. So I still hope that will happen this season. I am actively looking for a ringer to fill in so we can do this episode. But, considering when the game came out, I didn't realize Donkey Kong was physically in it because he only appears in a brief cameo at the very end of the game. So I didn't get it when it came out in October of 99. So I think it's only appropriate that we wait a while. We sit on this spotlight episode, just like I sat on the real game until horrifically I found out DK was in it. And I'd been playing the games out of order because I got Donkey Kong 64 without even realizing that I had to beat Mario Golf Game Boy Color first. Oh, God. I remember where I was that night. So, we'll be getting to that. Hopefully, it'll still happen this season, but I really have to break out the Rolodex here to see who could do this episode with me. But, yeah, thought I could get in touch with Shuntaro, and obviously, that did not happen. So, speaking of miscommunication, Gibbon, let's talk about how Playtonic was in the news this week.
Oh, God. Do we have to?
Yeah, actually, we have a phone call about it. So, since this is not actually anything to do with the subject matter for the episode, and I don't want to wait till a call sack, let's take this call, and then we'll discuss what blasted my
if we must.
For an entire day this week. This was a ridiculous thing. All right, here we go with this call.
Hey, Hyle. What's up? This is Bullcraft Max, a big fan of the podcast. I listen to it every week. I just want to say that these Microsoft acquiring Rare rumors were absolutely hilarious. I had a really difficult week. For me personally, a lot of unfortunate things happened in my life. So I have to say seeing that was a really funny bright spot because everyone went crazy because all it took was someone holding a Microsoft work bag for us to think that Playtonic was acquired by Microsoft. So I know I tweeted at you guys about it, but it was all in good fun. I didn't really mean it. But what's funny was that all these official Nintendo sites thought it was real, or rumored, or something, just because of this bag. So anyway, I just wanted to say that was a funny story, and I can't wait to hear you guys talk about it on the podcast. Love your show, guys, and listen to you soon. Thanks.
Well, thank you for the call, Bullcraft, which Google Voice translated as bullcrap, which no slight towards you, but that is appropriate for this story. So here's what happened.
God, isn't it just?
But he accidentally said Microsoft purchased Rare, which they did do back in 2002. He obviously meant Playtonic. It's easy for the brain to just say that because it's so natural. So here's what happened. Last Sunday night, Ed Bryan, famed Rare artist who was responsible for the design for Mumbo Jumbo, the Jinjos, Royston the Goldfish, so many others, joined the Banjo team with Project Dream. And, he left Rare and he found work at Nosy Crow, where he worked in their storybook app division, which was unfortunately shuttered last year, but he did things like
some really good stuff.
Yeah, Goldilocks and Little Bear, which we actually discussed on this podcast back in season 3, and that's actually TKU, thanks to Royston. But Ed Bryan has been out of work for a while, and obviously he did do some work for Playtonic back on the original game. He designed Dr. Puzz, but he was never actually a full-time employee at the studio. So everybody was kind of hoping he would wind up with Playtonic eventually. And lo and behold, he got a job with Playtonic. And he alluded to this on Sunday night by tweeting a picture of his old work bag, which was from his time at Rare. And it was a Microsoft bag. It had the Microsoft logo on it, which I saw that tweet and I knew what it was implying. I was like, he got a job at Playtonic. And this was before the official announcement from Playtonic on Monday. But I was like, oh, good for him. And good for Playtonic. Good for all of us. But a funny thing happened. So Playtonic announced Ed Bryan has joined them. Everybody was like happy about that. Who knows who Ed Bryan is? And then the next day, I think, Nintendo sites, and I'm not going to name names, I'm not going to shame anybody, but
because we don't have enough time to name all of them.
Yeah, there's a pretty big Nintendo news site, not an official one, but like a Nintendo fan site, essentially, but that caters to Nintendo news. Yeah, I think this started on maybe like Reddit or something, and then as often does, it was then picked up by these news sites because it was an easy, tantalizing story that would get lots of clicks. Not even a story; it was just connecting lots of dots that weren't actually there. So basically, what the gist of this rumor was Ed Bryan tweets a picture of a Microsoft work bag. Ergo, if he just joined Playtonic, that means Playtonic has been purchased by Microsoft or to become part of Xbox Studios so they can make a new Banjo-Kazooie game. Now,
I like the extra leap there. It's one thing to be like, oh, I guess Playtonic and Microsoft are doing something. It's another thing to go completely into like, and obviously they were purchased for the purpose of making Banjo-Kazooie 3, praise be.
Yeah, it's because that's the story that would interest people. Oh, how do we get to Banjo 3E? Well, let's start with there and let's backtrack and recreate this whole scenario. So Yeah, by midday the next day, I like people were contacting me. Do you think this is true? Do you think this is true? And I just flat out said no. Like, I didn't even make a big deal out of it. I didn't do a news story about it on DK Vine. I thought about it. I was like, should I just try to get out, not in front of this because it's too late for that, but should I at least try to reach our audience and let them know, hey, this isn't a thing. There's no way this would ever be a thing, at least at this point in time. And but then I was like, no, because that's just going to give the story more oxygen. And if I just ignore it, maybe that will say more than me actually trying to shout down the nonsense. But yeah,
but everyone knows you're a Microsoft shill and can't comment on it.
Or a Platonic shill and can't comment on it. Yeah.
Or both, since they just got purchased by Microsoft.
Exactly. Well, that's convenient for me. I only need to get one paycheck then, right?
Oh, but now you can't double dip anymore.
That's true. Hopefully they would just, give me a raise.
Ooh.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I said some people, I talked to Bullcraft about this on Twitter, and like he was like, okay, cool, because he's reasonable, but then others would not take my explanation of what this was for an answer. They said, oh yeah, right, like he would just so happen to have one work bag from 10 years ago. It's like, you think they just gave him a new work bag, like, oh yeah, we haven't even announced we've been bought by Microsoft yet, but we're gonna hand you this Microsoft work bag. Like, no, right? This is an indie studio. Like, yeah, and he hasn't been in the industry for a decade, more or less. So, like, yeah, he would still be using that work bag. I still
have my work bag from when I first worked at Microsoft back in like 2013. So
yeah. So, yeah, this is a whole lot of nothing. And then the day after that, Platonic tweeted in lovely ukulele font that there is no there, but it made me laugh just because of the absurdity of all of it and the way people pinned their hopes on this. Because here's the thing, Gibbon, and, I'm a big fan of Platonic, and I'm a big fan of Rare, and that includes modern day Rare. So I'm not like one of these people, but it cracks me up that you have all these people who were very upset and still are upset that Microsoft purchased Rare, which means that Rare cannot make Banjo-Kazooie games for Nintendo. But then they were very happy that Platonic was purchased by Microsoft so that they could make Banjo-Kazooie games for Xbox. If you're upset that this studio that you love is owned by a company who has a video game platform that you do not own, why would you really want the exact same thing to happen with this independent studio who can make games and does make games for the platform you do own and you do champion? I know people are like, well, Microsoft's making some games now third party. I was like, okay, but I'm just tired. I'm so tired. I'm so tired of all of this.
And it's spilled out into everything.
Yeah.
Like I was talking to some people about Conquer stuff, and it devolved into like fuck Microsoft. They're not letting Rare make anything, and it's like, what are you talking about?
It's not Microsoft. it's Rare. Like, you think Phil Spencer said, make me a pirate game while chomping on his cigar? No, Rare wanted to make
just
that.
J. Jonah Jameson style. Make me pirate games.
Yeah, exactly. And look, you can complain that Rare isn't wanting to make a Banjo game, and that's a fair complaint, but if they don't want to make one, they shouldn't be forced to make one. And
a game, take it from me, as someone who's worked on these sorts of things, a game from people who aren't invested in it, it shows in the final product.
And, it would be great if Platonic could one day make a Banjo game, but in the meantime, they just made Impossible Lair, which is brilliant, and you should play it.
It is brilliant, and I will totally finish the last 1% of the lair I haven't been able to complete yet. I keep dying as the timer runs out. Oh, God, I'm so salty.
Well, Salty is a Sea of Thieves character, so you're just mixing your metaphors now. Well, anyway,
I am,
look.
in fact, a skeletal bird.
Speaking of Platonic, we did just have Gavin Price on the show for an interview the other month. Daly was just the co-host on the last episode. But we're not stopping there because Chris Sutherland, he's coming back on the show.
Oh, yeah.
On the next episode, Jeff and I are going to be interviewing him for the second time on the Kongversation. He'll be our guest. So if you want to ask a question, we're taking a limited number of questions for this episode. So, you know, you're probably not going to get your question picked, but if it's really good, you are. And if you would like to ask Chris Sutherland a question, be sure to reply to the thread on the DK Vine forum about it. It's under the Kongversation forum near the top there, so you can ask Chris Sutherland any questions you want, and if it's good, I'll pick it and we'll read it on the air, and you'll get to feel very special, almost as special as DK Vine forum member Planet Cool, who got to rename the Laley Bells in Impossible Lair as Dingbats. And how did that happen? He just posted about it on the DK Vine forum, and Platonic saw it, and they were like, oh yeah, that's a better name than Laley Bells. And now it's official, and Planet Cool is getting free socks from Platonic as a result. So, yeah, join the DK Vine forum, win some socks.
Yeah. I love that thread immediately devolved into people suggesting other names for other things.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay, well,
also, you know, due congratulations to Planet Cool.
Right.
Everyone was very excited for him.
Yes. So, anyway, yeah, join the DK Vine forum at dkvine.com/forum. That's a little due diligence right there, a little under the radar due diligence, right? Like, you didn't see that coming. But speaking of due diligence, also check out dkvine.com/Patreon, because YouTube has still demonetized me, and that's not going to end anytime soon. dkvine.com/Patreon. Your patronage helps keep this nonsense running. Also, be sure to check out DK Vine on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. I run the Twitter and Facebook. I update every day to the detriment of my health and sanity. And Joe Mudd updates the Instagram as Jolly Roger. It's a whole thing, but check it out.
It's a good thing.
It's a good thing. It's never a bad thing when you have Jolly Roger in the mix. That's what I say. Well, I've only ever said that once, just now, but it should be a mantra.
You did, in fact, say it.
Yeah, just like we need to have a bumper sticker that says yes to swanky. We need one that says it's always a good thing when Jolly Roger is in the mix. I don't know. dkvine.com/Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram. Don't actually type that in. That leads to nowhere. I'm not gonna create a URL redirect for that. Just dkvine.com/Twitter, dkvine.com/Facebook, dkvine/Instagram. Also, dkvine/PooTube, because I'm still quite salty, right, Gibbon, about the YouTube situation. And it's
you kind of have every right to be, honestly.
You know, the thing is, if I was a big to-do YouTuber, they would have fixed it immediately. But because I'm not a big to-do YouTuber, they have not. But I don't have any motivation to continue making content for YouTube, so it's a vicious cycle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes me want to take a fistful of pills, honestly. Hey, speaking of pills, Dr. Mario World. So, this game also makes me salty because my phone is running out of space. I downloaded this game because it has Donkey Kong in it, and that's what I do. and it's just like, oh, okay, I guess I'll delete this. I guess I'll delete that. All right, I have enough room for this fucking game.
Oh, yeah, no, I can definitely appreciate that sentiment. Between, like, the gory detail things and Fortune Fish games that aren't up on the App Store anymore, and Nintendo stuff I'm checking out, and, like, the things from the ex-Chrono Trigger team members and various other just mobile stuff that, you know, it's getting to the point where it's like, okay, which of these is staying on the phone? So, yeah. And I never want to delete any of them because I'm always afraid they're just going to get, like, they're going to be gone forever. Like, there's some Square games I really like that I just can't play anymore because they took them off the store.
Or Croco Bongo. Yeah.
Or Croco Bongo. I missed the window on that. I have an iPhone now for work, and I was like, I can put things on it, but not that.
Yeah, they don't have Croco Bongo available anymore. That was we did a big episode about that along with Tamarin.
Which is why I'm glad I didn't delete this bouncy thing.
Well, anyway, yeah, my phone is basically, and it's an older iPhone too, and it's just
I'm
begging.
sorry.
It's begging for death. Yeah, but I downloaded Dr. Mario World, and let's talk a little bit about Dr. Mario first. I want to set the stage for this. This is like a consultation before we get to the full physical. The concept of Dr. Mario in and of itself is bizarre. The fact that it is like it worked as a joke in 1990, like haha Dr. Mario, but the fact that it's endured to the present day for nearly 30 years. Oh my god. 30 years.
Why'd you have to say that out loud?
Yeah, 29 years and counting. The fact that it's gone on that long is weird because Mario is quintessentially a blue-collar hero, working-class hero, traditionally portrayed as a plumber, although he's taken on numerous jobs over the years. Plumber is what stuck, what he became associated as.
Yeah.
How is Mario, who is still a plumber by trade, a part-time doctor? So,
yeah,
I remember buying Dr. Mario, or rather, like, having my parents buy it for me when I was a kid for the original Nintendo Entertainment System. It also came out on Game Boy concurrently, but I had the NES version, and I forgot, like, because, you know, I consumed every piece of my video game. I would read the instruction manual from front to back. And I remember, like, reading the instruction manual, but it wasn't until I was sitting down to do this episode that I, like, went back. And Dr. Mario is explained in the instruction manual to Dr. Mario, the original game. So there's actually a quote from Mario in there where he basically just spells it out. He says, I'm not going to do the Charles Martinet voice. For one, this predates that by like 6 years.
Oh, that's true.
So this would have been like
Captain Lou,
yeah. or just almost Bob Hoskins. So I'll just do like, hi everybody, I'm Mario. Fuck no, that's gonna kill my throat. I'm not gonna do that.
Hi everybody, I'm Mario. How's it
good.
going?
Yeah, you read it. I'll drink some
Over the last
water.
few years, I've been involved in some pretty wild adventures. Now, believe it or not, I work in the virus research lab at the Mushroom Kingdom Hospital. Today I'm about to begin my research as usual.
Alright, so that's weird. That's pretty weird. I like set that up as, there's a perfectly reasonable explanation for why he's Dr. Mario some of the time. No, he's like, he's even spelling out how you should be incredulous about this. He's like, now, believe it or not, I work in the virus research lab at the Mushroom Kingdom Hospital, the MKH.
Now, he doesn't actually say what he does there. This could be a Zoidberg situation where his doctorate is in art history.
Yeah.
And he just happens to work at the Mushroom Kingdom Hospital.
See, here's the thing. He could have literally been there to fix the plumbing. And he was like, and then I was like, oh shit, like I'm about to begin my research, meaning I'm about to unclog the shit from this toilet. And then it just wrong place in the wrong time. And let me put on a lab coat. Hey, everybody, Dr. Mario's in the house. Like it could be that
doctor.
But they actually portray it, especially later on, as no, he's a real doctor. And don't forget too that Princess Toadstool, Peach as she would be known worldwide 6 years later, but then known in the West as Princess Toadstool. She was also in Dr. Mario, but she was portrayed kind of misogynistically as a nurse, just a nurse, the princess of this kingdom where this hospital is set. It's just a nurse. No, the man gets to be the doctor. We
all know real princesses drive artillery vehicles.
Yeah. And now Peach is a doctor in Dr. Mario World, so I guess she, like those continual stream of annoying YouTube videos that I've been getting, she went back to school while working as a nurse and became a full doctor. The times they are a-changin', but I don't know, considering she is also royalty, we're going to discuss
think it's an honorary degree.
Yeah, they must all be honorary degrees. We're going to discuss the diploma mills of the Mushroom Kingdom here, because the fact that literally the entire extended Mario cast now have doctorates, it's a little
They'll give
fishy.
A degree to any Tom, Dick, or Lord Harry that walks in the door.
I really liked in the Ghostbusters video game from 10 years ago that it was treated as a Ghostbusters 3, and I really liked in the intervening 2 years between Ghostbusters 2 and Ghostbusters the video game, 2 years in universe time, that Winston actually went back to school and got his doctorate, so he was now a doctor like the other three. I thought that was a really cool touch, and it was if this guy who just took this job because he needed to work eventually battled a Sumerian god and blasted it back into another dimension, and then had to battle Vigo the Carpathian, who tried to possess a baby, eventually he'd be like, you know what? I want to further my studies in paranormal research. I would love to become a doctor like the rest of them. This is my career now. And I like that. It serviced him well as a character, and it's viewed as canon, at least by Aykroyd and Harold Ramis when he was still alive. So I like that, and I could accept that this one character in the Ghostbusters universe went back to school and got his doctorate. I cannot accept that the entirety of the Mario cast all decided to become doctors, but we'll get into that. So,
I mean, it was a bit of a slow rollout. It was just Mario at first, and then later it was
Luigi.
Wario somehow, and then Luigi.
Well,
and
I don't think Wario was a doctor in the game he was in. I think he was just a tag-along.
Just Wario?
He was just a tag-along, yeah.
Well, really, Mario was the tag-along, but that's another thing.
Well, yeah. It was a Wario game disguised
and then
as a
Luigi, and then Peach, and then they've slowly been rolling out the rest of the characters. So I wouldn't say they all got them at the same time, per se.
Still though.
Yeah.
Anyway, Mario's shift from blue collar to white collar. He's still blue collar though. It's just he's white collar when the plot demands it.
But he's got his PhD. He owns the factories now instead of working in them.
Yeah.
And he abuses his workers.
He brainwashed poor Donkey Kong. He hired a shifty advertising agency.
Donkey Kong goes on to work for him later, and Pauline treats him as a star employee, and Mario just gives him shit.
All right, Mario is the worst. Look, at least it can't be misconstrued as something creepy. Like the concept of Dr. Mario, you can't say like, oh, he's a doctor, right? He became an OBGYN so he can better know the property of a lady, if you know what I mean. I mean, he is quite knowledgeable about fungal infections, right? So,
after a fashion.
Yeah, but this isn't the Cosby Show, so, Mario is a stand-up guy, except for, Donkey Kong Jr., and all those times he was a piece of shit in the Mario vs. Donkey Kong series. So basically, anytime Donkey Kong is involved, Mario is the villain, and he deserves to die. But besides that, Mario is someone you should emulate and look up to. Not emulate, you should always legally buy his games. I mean, somebody you should aspire to be. So anyway, Mario, he does the dirty jobs. And then he turns around and he saves lives with his medical know-how. So let's talk a little bit about, because you know me, I'm always focused on story and the why and how the fuck does this universe or multiverse function.
I mean, that is how we got here, so yeah.
Yeah. So we should probably talk a little bit about the gameplay and then talk about Dr. Mario World first. But the original Dr. Mario, which I've played more than anything in this series, it's a Tetris-like game, but...
I'd put it more on the Panel de Pon side of things, or Tetris Attack over here in the States.
Yeah, which was a Mario game, too, over here. Yeah. Tetris Attack was a Yoshi's Island game.
Yeah.
Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, as a kid, I had Tetris and I had Dr. Mario. And I think I preferred Tetris, weirdly enough. Although I was never a big puzzle game fan. Besides It's Mr. Pants later in life. But, I mean, they're fine. But, I like a story. I like living and breathing in a world. So to have something like just falling blocks, it's fun for a brief amount of time. It's like doing a jigsaw puzzle in that, this is kind of an amusing diversion. And then after a while, it just dawns on me, I've been wasting hours of my life. And what do I have to show for it?
I just wasted 900 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, so I don't I don't know. Like, I like to feel like I've contributed something like to an adventure, to liberating a world, to rescuing a kidnapped loved one, or a horde of bananas. I like doing that. I don't like, I made some blocks disappear. Unless it's in the guise of I am a contestant on the famed model / underwear magnet / television personalities debut game show. And, look at me, I am the champion, and I have solved all of the puzzles, and now I am an international celebrity, and I will be invited to partake in things like karting events and fighting tournaments. I am amazing.
Yep.
Right. Sorry. I was just thinking about how wonderful It's Mr. Pants was and how I really want to do another episode about it. I just can't find the angle to approach to justify it.
What were we talking about? One of those interview episodes into an It's Mr. Pants episode.
We were talking about Dr. Mario, right? So
Yes.
Looking back at the original Dr. Mario, though, I like that the story, it is very small in scale to justify the small scope of a puzzle game with Mario. It concerns a viral outbreak in the Mushroom Kingdom Hospital, and Mario has created mega vitamins. And I'm saying, I don't know if you could hear the quotes around mega vitamin in my voice, because it's just it's so Nintendo to try to get around like glorifying drugs, even prescription drugs, even like drugs that are on the up and up. They're just like, no, they're vitamins. It's like, okay, sure.
You still shouldn't OD on vitamins, kids.
He has created mega vitamins to eradicate the viruses, which in this case are the now iconic giant cartoony gremlin things that look nothing like viruses. But okay, this is the Mushroom Kingdom. It's a weirdo land full of freaks. Yeah, viruses can look like this. And you got the iconic red, blue, and yellow, at least in the original game. So
yeah.
But the gameplay. Sorry, I was getting distracted by the story again.
It's pretty simple gameplay. You've got a playing field styled as a bottle that has some random viruses scattered about in it. I don't know if this is supposed to be like a specimen jar or something, but you drop the mega vitamins down from the top and they sort of float down incrementally, and you can rotate them, and they've got two halves which can be different colors or the same color, and you stack hopefully vitamin parts of the same color on viruses, and once you get 4 of a kind, you've eliminated that virus, and off-hanging pill pieces fall to the bottom as far as they can go. And it's just your basic sort of Tetris or Panel de Pon or whatever, puzzle challenge gameplay. It's pretty basic. The core mechanics of the series haven't really changed all that much in the last 30 years.
29 years. Don't age us prematurely.
29 years. 29 years and change. We got like half a year before it's 30.
Yeah. And
pretty basic.
If there is a viral outbreak in a hospital, I'm not sure why it's all taking place within the specimen jar then, because it feels like the virus is pretty much contained, right? Like they're in there.
Yeah.
Unless he's doing experiments in the jars to know what works against the virus, so that he can then go out. We don't see like the carnage out in the hospital, like the people like just pissing themselves and shitting all over the place and just on death's door. We don't see the goddamn near apocalyptic scenario out there in the Mushroom Kingdom Hospital, because we're just in the lab here. He's trying to get it right, trying to get the right combination of mega vitamins so he knows how to combat it, which happens off screen then when the game's over.
Sure,
yeah.
Right.
Sounds good. All right. The franchise, I think at least, like Dr. Mario, and then I forget that they've actually made numerous sequels over the years.
Yeah, numerous sequels. It's I think it's almost had a release or re-release on every Nintendo system, almost.
Yeah. I know that like the original game, even like they released for Game Boy Advance, like not even like e-reader.
Like
it was actual cartridge release.
But it also got an e-reader release.
Did it?
Yeah. There was a arcade release. It got a BSX Satellaview Super Nintendo release. There was Dr. Mario 64, of course.
You undersell that. Dr. Mario 64. This is a game I forget completely. And I just said I forgot like how many sequels there were.
I say of course because I'm a big Wario fan, and Dr. Mario 64 is the most misnamed game ever. It's was probably the most ambitious Dr. Mario game at the time, because all the entries up to then had been sort of in the mold of the original, where you can just sort of play the free mode, or there's the like specific puzzle challenges, but there's not really a whole lot to it. Dr. Mario 64 has a full story mode with cutscenes in between levels and branching alternate story paths depending on who you're playing as, Mario or Wario, because for reasons known only to God and Hitoshi Yamagami, this was a sequel to Wario Land 3, featuring the return of the main villain Rudy, and had Mario getting in Wario's way as he strove to put down the evil clown deity once again.
Wow, Rudy, okay.
Rudy the Clown was the big villain of Wario Land 3, and the fact that he actually reappeared in Dr. Mario 64 had people kind of expecting that he was going to become a regular installment in that series, and we've literally never heard from him again.
I was briefly worried this was going to go back to the Cosby Show. Yeah.
But yeah.
I forget Dr. Mario 64 was a thing because it came out in 2001. And when I think about the Nintendo when I think about the Nintendo 64 in 2001, I think, oh yeah, Conker and Mario Party 3.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just a big gaping abyss into both the Game Boy Advance and the GameCube's release. And then it's like the N64 is done. And I know that's not the case, but in my world, like, that's it.
Yeah, but so typically entries in the series might introduce a new thing or a new mode or something that might get carried over to subsequent entries. Like a while back, they had Dr. Luigi on the Wii as a special thing where you could get pills bundled together in little L shapes, because of course. And now that's just a regular mode or it has been in subsequent releases. And like one of the DSiWare releases or whatever had a virus buster mode that is just like continue infinite free play. And that was a regular installment in the non-mobile entries for a few generations and stuff. But for the most part, yeah, they're just Dr. Mario releases. Dr. Mario 64 had the big ambitious story mode. No game in the series has done that since, although Dr. Mario World does sort of get into that territory again. But yeah.
I think it's weird that Luigi had to like have drugs in the shape of his first initial.
I thought it was neat that they had them in the little pill packaging.
Yeah. Like
they dressed it up nicely, but also, yeah, it's just like, oh, it's Dr. Luigi, so he has to have L-shaped pills.
That's like, I go to the pharmacy and I'm like, well, I guess you have to give me heroin, because...
I think that depends on what state you're in.
I mean, virtually in most states in America, you can get an equivalent to heroin if you know where to look. That we have an epidemic. So, yeah, the series has somehow it's mostly been under the radar, even like because it's been on things like mostly download only titles. And there's never really been a big high profile release to the equivalent of the original game. Maybe Dr. Mario 64, but that's pushing it given the time it came out.
Yeah.
But then Dr. Mario World is really like the first, like, hey, look at me, Dr. Mario game, since I would argue the original.
They really went all out on it. Like they did they have continued doing a little webisode series with the viruses and stuff. They just plastered it all over Twitter. They really promoted the heck out of it.
Yeah. I think what's really kept Dr. Mario alive up until this point is just Smash Brothers. And
yeah,
I do really hate Dr. Mario being treated like a separate character from Mario and things like Smash, because that's just a pet peeve of mine, that, you know, just because you have a wardrobe change doesn't mean you're a separate character in these multi-character rosters. I think it's lazy. Yeah. I think it's kind of insulting, but I think now is an opportunity with Dr. Mario World where they can inverse the trope. And since Dr. Mario is the main character, they should have a new unlockable character called Mario.
That's just Mario.
Just Mario in his dirty overalls, here to do the medicine. And that would at least be fair play. Like,
oh, we could totally invoke the, excuse me, it's just Mario. Dr. Mario is my father. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. So anyway, Dr. Mario World, it's very hard to discuss a puzzle game in a podcast. So, I don't even know how like specific I'm going to get. And that's weird because there's a lot to discuss here.
There's a lot in this game.
Yeah. And I'm just going to say this. I think this is Nintendo's best mobile Mario game to date.
And I agree.
And I can't speak to like Animal Crossing. Pokemon Go is still probably the best Nintendo-related mobile game, even though I know that's kind of a gray area as far as what you consider a Nintendo game goes. But it's basically a Nintendo franchise, so I would say Pokemon Go is still like the king. But if we're just gonna look at the Mario releases, Super Mario Run, Mario Kart Tour, and Dr. Mario World, I think this wins hands down.
Oh yeah,
and. Easily. This one is free too.
Yeah, that definitely helps.
Yeah, it's not this is not just we're releasing the original Dr. Mario on a mobile platform. Even if they had done that, that would have been acceptable to me.
Yeah, that would have been like that was a super obvious thing to do. They could have done it as soon as they announced they were doing mobile titles. Like. It's not hard. They've already got the touch format for like their DSiWare releases. They could have literally just put out Dr. Mario on mobile, but they've done a really good job of making it a full game. It's got a ton of unique little spins on the formula, no pun intended. So the major shakeup is that the pills now float up in a liquid solution to the top of the screen instead of being dropped down from the bottom, which makes a little more sense from a mobile interface perspective because you're like doing stuff with your thumb, right? But aside from that, they do a lot of little things like, oh, these viruses are encased in bubbles, so you need to destroy them twice. Or like these are in locks and you need to go, or these are in cages and you need to go find the keys to open up the locks. Or there's blocks to destroy, or there's like Koopa shells that'll bounce around the screen and do stuff. Like they do a lot of little like here's the little gimmick in this subset of levels that makes progressing through the game interesting and rewarding instead of just like, well, this is the 90th Dr. Mario challenge I've done. Okay, sort of thing.
Yeah. And
along those lines, it's got easily the most content of any other Dr. Mario release.
Yes, that is also very weird to me that this feels like it could be like a 3DS game as far as just the amount of content it has. Easily,
like they could strip out the MTX stuff and release this on the Switch, and I don't think anybody would bat an eye. Like, So true to the Dr. Mario World name, it's got a world map, and there's 9 worlds and counting, and they keep adding to the game. So I think it originally released with like 4 or 5, and in updates they've added worlds, and the worlds have like 30 or so levels in them each. And if you're playing the game casually, you can just play through the game. Like, the game has a stamina system, but it rewards you a stamina every time you complete a puzzle, so you can easily just play the game as if you were playing like a console non-free-to-play game and just go through the game casually and get like, a full Dr. Mario World experience out of it. And of course, if you want to do all the bonus challenges and get like 3-star completion, 100% bonus on everything, you're probably going to need the help of the special abilities from some of the other doctors, which is where the gacha mechanic comes into play.
Yeah, but even like having that here, it doesn't irritate me like it does in Mario Kart Tour. Am I just weirdly biased against Mario Kart Tour?
No, so Mario Kart Tour is set up in such a way that you can't even progress unless you do well in the races, and you almost can't do well in the races at all unless you have specific drivers and karts and they're leveled up appropriately. Whereas Dr. Mario World is like, yeah, you can just go through the entire game, and if you want to get the best scores or complete the extra bonus challenge stuff off of the beaten path, you'll need to go procure some of the other doctors and helpers somewhere, which is really easy to do because the developers, which Nintendo Line and NHN, which I think is either a Chinese or Korean company, I can't remember off the top of my head, collaborated on this game, and I don't know which of those three are the ones actively maintaining it, but they regularly just hand out like stamina and premium currency and tickets and stuff just for like, oh, sorry, we had to take the game down for an hour for maintenance. Here, have some premium currency and stuff like that. And they're also constantly running events that get you extra stuff. So it's really easy to just not even spend a dime and still just like go play the slots all the time for more characters.
Yeah, this is so bizarre to me to have such an affordable healthcare system.
I know, right?
Yeah. Social commentary.
So foreign to us over here.
It is. Yeah. I don't
and
know,
on
like,
top of everything else, there's a full versus mode with multiple options for battling other players and your friends and stuff.
So wait, you can actually battle real players? It's not just a hoax?
I know, right?
What a concept.
And it didn't get added in a later update. Was there from the beginning.
Yeah, I was playing a little bit of this to prep for this episode, and I was like, I'm enjoying this. This
I know, right?
Well, again, this is not like the type of game I would normally gravitate to, but this is the exact type of game I say works on a mobile platform, makes sense on a mobile platform, and I never felt like I'm being swindled by playing it like I do with Mario Kart Tour. And I don't even mean like the gacha mechanics. I mean just like, this fundamentally does not work on this platform. This is smoke and mirrors. This is an illusion designed to trick me into having fun. And now, I was like, oh, this is actually basically a nice handheld game that I could play for a few minutes here or there, whether I'm like waiting in a doctor's office, ironically, or I'm just kidding. I can't afford to go to a doctor, but you know what I mean? Like, those life's little moments where you're just, you have a few moments to kill. You might as well whip out the phone and play some Dr. Mario, eradicate some gremlin-looking viruses.
Yeah. And that's one of the other reasons I'd promote it over Super Mario Run, because Super Mario Run, you kind of have to be like actively invested in guiding Mario through the level, and the levels can be somewhat lengthy at times, whereas Dr. Mario World is more turn-based isn't quite the right term, but it's not real time is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
So you can literally just sort of put it down if you need to and go do something else.
But considering like how small it is, like, oh, I can just play around here or there, just put it away. The stakes of the story, when you really like think about what the story is implying, this is actually one of the most dramatic Mario games ever, in my opinion. So now there is actually a story when you start the game that it's kind of illustrated in a very cutesy way of viruses attacking the Mushroom Kingdom, chasing mushroom people, i.e. toads and Koopa Troopas. But when you think about it, this is actually about a worldwide global pandemic. The entire Mushroom Kingdom, if not the entire mushroom world, being overwhelmed by viruses. And it's not like the movie Outbreak or anything, or like Contagion, where like people aren't bleeding out of their pores. It's not like they're dying from Ebola. Although if they were dying from Ebola, that would explain why they had to bring in Diddy Kong to consult, because comes from monkeys. But no, like it's kind of cool to see the citizens of the Mushroom Kingdom running in terror in the opening story, being chased by these viruses. Like, we don't see the viruses like inhabit them, but I like the implications here, Gibbon. I like that this is a plausibly apocalyptic scenario in the Mushroom Kingdom, and that would explain why we need so many damn doctors to combat. Like in the original, in the opening, you just have Dr. Mario portrayed, but he's running towards the viruses, and same run animation. Even it's not animated, but like the same. he's posed the same as he runs in Super Smash Brothers, which I also appreciate.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they just borrowed the Smash render.
Oh, I'm sure. I say it's great, but it's probably the laziest fucking thing. But anyway,
I mean, you might as well reuse the assets.
You might as well, yeah. They put in a lot more effort than was warranted in this game to begin with, so I'm not going to slag them for that. Yeah, but this is essentially a Michael Crichton novel or something in Mario 4. And I love that it justifies this grandiose plot. And therefore the world title in Dr. Mario World by, as you said, having map screens. Having map screens, having worlds. Like, you actually venture through the Mushroom Kingdom in your quest to stop this pandemic. Mm-hmm. And in Mario, it's structured a little bit like Mario Brothers 3, because you start World 1 as a grassland, World 2 is a desert, World 3 is a underwater, beachy, oceany area. But then, you've got other archetypes after that. You've got Spoopy World, which isn't really like Luigi's Mansion, but it's just like vaguely like booish. And then you've got you've got like a Super Mario Galaxy themed world. I imagine eventually we'll get New Donk City.
That'd be nice.
Yeah,
Dr. Pauline would be great.
I'm sure you'll get Dr. Pauline, Gibbon. I know.
You have more faith than I do.
Look, I mean, she's not. So, Donkey and Diddy were in the game from the start. Like, they weren't available until Halloween, but people immediately.
That's a good point.
Suss them out.
We did have data mined, and we knew they were coming, and their inclusion is the last bit of all of the content that was in the initial data package. So from here on out, it's going to be all new stuff, and we have no idea what's going to be added to the game after this.
And after Pauline's inclusion in Mario Kart Tour, I'm sure they'll get to her.
That's fair.
But there is a jungle world, but it should be pointed out it is not Donkey Kong based. It is not like the Congo jungle. But that makes sense because this is a Mushroom Kingdom outbreak, and as Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle definitively established, they're separate dimensions. We don't need a we don't need a multiversal pandemic here because I don't even want to think about the implications there. But hey,
there is, I will point out obstinately, a theme park themed world that is sort of semi-modeled after the Mario versus Donkey Kong stuff, and it's like the place where the Shy Guys show up, who are a staple in that series. Obviously inspired by Mario's amusement park, because he owns one of those too, white collar, grandiose that he is.
See, I always take any involvement of a Mario amusement park as Mario Land from Mario Party 2.
I'd buy that if it weren't filled with Shy Guys specifically.
Well, okay. I'm not saying like it's based on that, but I'm saying like even the amusement parks later on are the same, like Baby Park. The ones Mario versus Donkey Kong. I always just take that to mean that is
actually Mario Land 2 was obviously the turning point because it takes place within Mario's kingdom and you're getting his castle back. So obviously the money went to his head at some point.
Well, when you're shagging the princess of the kingdom, I think you get a lot of perks passed your way. I guess
so.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. I admire the world building in this. I admire the plot.
Yeah.
And that brings us to the main crux of what we need to discuss: the logistics of the Kongs becoming doctors. This is canon. We need to talk about this, Gibbon.
Are they really doctors? Like, DK's just wearing a little armband, and Diddy's, like, wearing one of those stethoscope things on his hat.
Yeah, let's
I can totally see Mario being like, hey, you're a doctor now!
Yeah, let's talk about... So for one, these are pre-existing renders that they just stuck. They just like they're posed exactly the same way as other renders of them. I don't know if they look like they're new art assets, but they just based them on existing renders because they are posed exactly the same way from past games. But yeah, Donkey Kong has a stethoscope, and Diddy Kong has the little head mirror on his baseball cap too, which is just a stupid touch that I love. But yeah, are they doctors? So let's go through all of the doctors in this game thus far.
Lordy.
Okay, so we've got Dr. Mario, obviously. We've got Dr. Bowser.
That one I legitimately believe. The Mario Bros. Movie famously established that he does have a lot of scientific and medical know-how because he's the one who invented the Devo machine. Oh my god, I made Hyle speechless.
Yeah, I was just gonna make a Devo joke, but I was like, oh, should I threaten to whip him? No, that's too obvious. Anyway, yeah, I like that they establish like Dr. Bowser joins it because like the Koopas are being threatened. Like there's actually like a plot in this, like as it goes on, like because you start with Dr. Mario, but then you
actually get a choice of whether you start with Mario, Bowser, or Peach.
Okay. See, but then you unlock the other two, I think, a few stages into it.
You unlock more as you go.
Yeah.
So
yeah. But yeah, Dr. Bowser is there. Then you got Dr. Peach, no longer Nurse Toadstool. Dr. Luigi, and like already canonically, Luigi is the same dubious level of doctor that Mario was. The year of Luigi is when we got Dr. Luigi. So,
yep.
But then there's also Dr. Yoshi, which already this is falling apart for me.
It super is.
Dr. Toad, which okay,
I like his little tie.
Dr. Toadette.
Why not?
Dr. Bowser Jr. pressured to go into medicine just like his dad.
Yep.
Dr. Ludwig, Dr. Wendy.
Dr. Waluigi.
Yeah, Dr. Waluigi. This is where
you know what? It's been pointed out numerous times that we don't actually know what Waluigi does when he's not like go-karting with Wario. So he could have been a doctor the whole time for all we know.
Okay, but Dr. Wario, like, just the fact that Smash Brothers has completely portrayed him as this unhygienic, farting shit man, and it's just like he wouldn't survive the process of like scrubbing his hands.
More of a pass because he has previous experience combating these viruses.
Okay,
Dr.
okay.
Mario 64.
Dr. Daisy. Dr. Baby Mario. Yes, he can perform his own cesarean, folks. Dr. Baby Luigi, Dr. Baby Peach, Dr. Baby Daisy, Dr. Rosalina as an adult. It's Dr. Rosalina, not Dr. Baby Rosalina. That would be nonsense. That would just be ridiculous. Oh, but Dr. Luma,
almost
of course.
as ridiculous as, Dr. Luma.
Yeah. And then the recent additions, Dr. Donkey Kong.
Donkey Kong and Dr. Diddy Kong.
DRDK.
DR Donkey Kong.
So the question is, are Donkey and Diddy real doctors? And, well, I think what we have to look to are the baby characters. Because if Dr. Mario went back in time, got himself as a baby, and somehow got this baby doctorate, I feel like the whole concept of these doctorates loses their validity a little bit. I feel like what's happening here, Gibbon, and you are more of an expert in Mario canon than I am, so feel free to correct me if I'm wrong here. But I feel like the easiest explanation here is that because of this worldwide pandemic, they are rushing people through their medical training. They're basically getting
almost absolutely.
Yeah. This has been going on since July, and they had to bring in Donkey and Diddy on Halloween. Like, okay, we're losing control of the situation. We need more doctors. Who do you know? Who hasn't been infected yet? Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong.
Just look at all the lab assistants.
Yeah. We'll get into the lab assistants here, because I feel like... Now, here's the thing, though. I feel like... So back on Donkey Kong Island, Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong, they're not licensed to practice medicine. Like, don't think that they can, like, write Funky a prescription for medical marijuana. Don't think that, they're gonna get Swanky Kong his Quaaludes. This is... This is not something they can use and abuse. They have been deputized, essentially, to combat this, and I'm sure this is, like, a temporary thing. Like, you're licensed to use these mega vitamins, but you don't think this means you can write a prescription for anyone.
I'm almost positive there was some, like, DK or Cranky as a doctor thing in the cartoon. But other than that, yeah, no, I got nothing.
Yeah, no, I've already seen the meme of Dr. Donkey Kong. But, yeah, you brought up Cranky, thank you, because Cranky, the amateur chemist, would be a good addition to this game. But, here's the thing. I want the inevitable reunion between Mario and Cranky, sans Donkey Kong Country 2, sans... him being a silhouette in Jungle Japes in Smash Brothers. I think it needs to be more epic than Cranky Kong throwing vitamins at viruses. Like, I want Cranky and Mario, when they come back together again, for it to be treated with reverence. Like, here we go. And honestly, that would be a great plot when they do another Mario versus Donkey Kong game. Like,
it's crazy to think that almost happened in Diddy Kong Pilot.
Yeah, and I would have had a problem with it there too. Like, of course, that was earlier in the history. I think it's been so long now that it needs to be epic. But then again, I said the same thing about Mario and Sonic, and look where we are with that. So, What do I know? Let's talk a little bit about the assistants, though. So just to be clear, though, Dr. Donkey Kong, Dr. Diddy Kong, they are considered doctors in these very, very unusual circumstances. But they are not doctors in their day-to-day life, nor will they be addressed as such by their colleagues and peers. It's not like when on their checkbook it says Dr.
Hyle,
Diddy Kong.
They don't have any peers anymore. They're doctors.
Look, at least we know why they always spend so much time on the golf course, right? Like,
yep, there it is.
Sick burn. All right. So let's talk about these assistants, because these don't seem like good assistants to me.
Yeah, no. So the main thrust of the gacha mechanic in this game is the staffing agency, where you can go spend your coins or premium gems or recruitment tickets to have the staffing agency just like pull someone out of the hat for you. And given the ratio of doctors to assistants, it's most likely going to be an assistant. And they do things like they increase your score by a little bit at the end of the round. Your special meter will fill up faster, or you'll get like a special bonus against this type of thing in the versus mode or whatever. And they're basically like glorified stickers from Smash Bros. Brawl or whatever. Like, they don't actually do much. They're just something you can equip. And there's a ton of them, and they're all like Mario enemies of some sort. So
yeah,
you just want to run through this list really quick.
There's 49.
Yeah. It's like I kind of wanted to poke wrap this, but I don't think I'd be able to manage it. Like, so you've got Goomba, Bloober, Lakitu, Cheep Cheep, Spiny, Swoop the Bat, Bullet Bill.
I like how you're
Paragoombas.
clearly reading this off Mario Wiki, by the way.
Oh, yep. I'm not remembering these things. Sumo Bro, Hammer Bro, Koopa Paratroopa, what's a Crober? Buzzy Beetle, Koopa Paratroopa. Wait, no, we already did that. Regular Koopa Troopa came in after the Paratroopas and Hammer Bros? Weird.
Oh god, some of these. Okay, can I just say some of these are clearly from the new Super Mario Brothers games? Because I don't recognize some of these at all. Like what? What? Okay.
Bob-ombs, Hucket Crabs. I think they're from the 3D Land World games, actually.
Okay.
Piranha Plants, Pokies, Spikes, Peepas, which are ghost things. Spiny Cheep Cheep. Okay. Clampy. Parabeetles. Amps. They've been around for a while.
On.
I don't think they had faces in
I take
Mario
it back.
64.
Looking at Clampy, I guess Mario is an OBGYN.
Oh, okay. Boom Boom, Pom Pom, Sledge Bro, Big Hammer, Scaredy Rat. Ooh, some SMB2 love. Porcupuffer. That they should just name all pufferfish puffed up. Monty Mole, Mecha Koopa. That's a toy. That's a wind-up robot. How? Fuzzy, Thwomps, Boomerang Bros, Chain Chomps, Fly Guys, Dolphin. Wonderful name. Octoombas, Bomboos. I guess they help by just killing you. The Honey Queen, Star Bunny, King Boo, Goombrats, Wigglers, Scuttlebugs, Boos, King Bob-ombs. We've got a lot of royalty helping out. I guess they're worried about their nations. And Bonsai Bills. And yeah, there's 49 of them, and counting because they get updated and added periodically as well.
Wow, alright, well, yeah. I feel like none of them are...
Actually, I'm a little upset, like when they added Dr. Rosalina, we got some Mario Galaxy enemies as assistants, like the Octoombas and Honey Queen and stuff. But like, where's like Dr. Naughty or lab assistant Naughty and stuff? Like,
stop with the vagina jokes, all right? We were done with the clam. How does a dolphin...
You don't want bothered beavers helping you out in the OBGYN clinic?
Wait, how does a dolphin in any way provide any sort of assistance in hospital room?
Half the things on this list don't have arms or actively kill you upon contact.
Yeah.
So...
Like, I could see maybe a thwomp being a good chiropractor, but... Yeah, this is okay. Anyway,
yeah.
I admire though, like some of these deep dives, like some of these characters. I would not consider using, but they really like. I wish they would have like dug up a little bit more. Like some Super Mario Brothers 2 baddies would have been nice, but clearly, I think these are reused art assets, so. They have to all look consistent. It's not like spirits in Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. So you want them to... When
was the last time Amp showed up? Oh, it was in the new Super Mario Bros. Games. Okay, yeah.
Well, that's a ridiculous list.
Yeah.
I'm sort of glad though, like Naughties aren't in it as much as I would like to see that. At the same time, I do kind of want the Kongs to keep a little bit of distance from Mario for the time being. Otherwise, we risk falling into the trap where they're just considered Mario characters again, and we go back.
I suppose that's fair.
Like it's a catch-22, and I alternate between how I feel about it, but I feel like we've gotten to a point where it's Donkey Kong is at very least respected a little bit more as its own property rather than just an extension of Mario. and things like K. Rool have helped with that, but to then just like shove them back in, Anyway, Donkey Kong. Let's talk about Donkey and Diddy a little bit more and how they work, and then we'll get to our calls. So, how does Donkey Kong practice medicine? Well, if you said
the way that Kongs know how,
yes, chucking a barrel. That is basically his solution for everything, including how to cure you of your ailments. So,
yep, good for what ails you.
Yeah. And of course, what does Diddy do? Well, he shoots you. He
pulls out the gun.
Yeah,
the hard medicine.
That's American style.
I do appreciate that. I don't know how they got from the gun to this actual like gameplay effect, but I do appreciate that they took into account that Diddy's a youngin', so his ability snaps the pill in two, so you've got 2 half doses.
Yeah, and it's grape flavored too.
Yeah,
makes it go down easier. Yeah. No, I mean
yeah. They've got a lot of characters. Not all of the abilities have a lot of depth to them. And in fact, most of the abilities don't have a lot of depth to them. So yeah, Donkey Kong's barrel just kind of like, there's a little targeting thing that bounces around the screen and you have to stop it, and it destroys everything in like a 3x3 around that.
Yeah.
And then Diddy like has a little animation where he whips out his gun and shoots it, and you get a little like peanut snapping thing, and it had a pill inside of it. I don't know how they produce these pills, but apparently it's peanuts. I don't know. That has all sorts of other implications that I don't want to get into.
You know, I just love like the sentence you just said, Diddy whips out his gun, and how that's a perfectly normal statement in 2019 when you can discuss the character of Diddy Kong. I know like he's had these guns for 20 years now, but you really have to hand it to Smash Brothers how it's completely recontextualized this character, that he always has to have guns now.
Yup.
Yeah. Even when he's a doctor, he's got to shoot.
I'm honestly surprised DK didn't whip out the bongos.
But Smash Brothers has gotten the bongos away from DK.
That'll be for Dr. Super Kong or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
What do you think Dr. Baby DK is going to get?
Don't you dare.
You're right. They'd never acknowledge that character exists.
It's been a while since they've used him.
Yep.
It was what? It was the last. It was the
Super Mario Sluggers. He
Yeah,
disappeared into the aether with K. Rool.
Yeah, and thankfully he hasn't come back with K. Rool.
I mean, K. Rool had to eat something, so.
Oh, I don't even want to think about how that would fuck up the timeline. All right, we got a couple calls about this game, and then we'll give our final thoughts.
Dear Hyle, we are joined on this day to talk about Dr. Mario World, which I will say as a longtime Nintendo fan, I'm a little confused by the title. This is Chris, by the way. The added word world in the title used to designate the larger console counterpart. Since this is a mobile iteration of Dr. Mario, it would be more appropriate to call this thing Dr. Mario Land. I mean, are these mobile phone games the replacement for traditional handheld games? Is my Android phone my Game Boy now? Overall, I'm fine with this, as I always have my phone on me, like how I always used to have my Game Boy on me as a kid. Fun fact, I had a tiny sticker of DK riding and guard on my purple Game Boy Color, which was my second Game Boy after the original, and successfully transferred the sticker to each successive Game Boy afterward. Anyway, Dr. Mario World. I had Tetris 2 and Dr. Mario for the original Game Boy, and I specifically loved Tetris DX on the Game Boy Color. Remember when they added DX to every Game Boy Color game title? Anyway, I loved those games, and I love this game. If you ignore the microtransactions, and honestly, it's really easy to do in this game, then I'd argue it's the best Dr. Mario game. The way the pills split and how you can move them everywhere gives you a lot of control over the game, unlike Candy Crush or even Two Dots. The latter my fiance plays. I wonder if the reason things float upward is because someone else has the rights to pieces floating downward in a phone game. I'm afraid they'll just keep adding worlds, though. Right now, they're up to 9, and history tells us they obviously should have stopped at 8. But like the Minions Run game that has like 400 worlds, they'll sadly probably do the same here. And finally, I did unlock Diddy and DK. I've been playing the game since the release day. I'm currently on level 196 in World 5 and saved up all of my in-game currency, not spending a cent, until they released DK and Diddy, and I had about 21 tickets and spent about 12 and 12,000 coins to first get Diddy, and then get Diddy again, and then finally DK. Diddy's superpower is granting you like 3 split pills, while DK's is much better with the barrel gun, firing in spurts. The honest challenge this game provides, and the fun and satisfaction of choice, is deeper than Tetris or Tetris 2, and that is very gratifying. Meow.
Thank you for the call, Chris, aka the Mysterious Time Caller, or AstroPipsy
Meow to
on
you
Twitter.
Too. Oh, that's AstroPipsy? Cool.
Yeah.
They're good. They're a good poster.
Poster, as they call them on Twitter.
Tweeter. Good a good twit.
You're showing your age, boomer. Okay, boomer.
I'm the child of boomers. Thank you very much.
No, everybody who's not a zoomer is a boomer. This brother's bear should die. Now, he pretty much agreed with us.
Yeah.
He went on a couple tangents there about stickers on Game Boy Colors, but he pretty much agreed with us, and I pretty much agreed with him. So I think we can just let that one lie. And thank you for the call, Chris, as we now know you. Chris. Meow. All right. Oh, what if they add Cat Peach, Dr. Cat Peach?
Oh, give it time.
That would be a good tie-in with the Cats movie that's coming out this holiday season.
I am super pumped for that. I don't know why they're releasing it on the same day as Star Wars.
Got counter-programming.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, Yeah. All right.
Next call?
Are you really pumped for that?
I am. I'm a legitimately a big Cats fan.
Okay.
I think I broke Hyle.
I'm fine. I'm just changing the passwords to the forum so you no longer have mod power.
Oh.
Because how can I trust your judgment ever again? One more call.
Hey, Hyle, and whoever else is going to be hosting with you tonight. This is JBH on the forum, or Jebaha, as you called me in the live stream you did with Malik for the banjo reveal. So I guess I'll just call myself that from now on, to keep with the theme that you guys do. But given that Dr. Donkey Kong and Dr. Diddy Kong are in Dr. Mario World, which I feel is probably my favorite out of the Nintendo apps, even though I guess that's not saying much considering they're not that great. What would a game that starred exclusively Dr. Donkey Kong and Dr. Diddy Kong, what do you think that game would entail? I don't really know myself, so I'm imparting it to you to figure it out for me. Thank you, and hurry up and make the Mario and Rabbids DK DLC video already.
Well,
wow.
Thank you for the demand, Jabba. And you're here in the live stream with us right now. So, yes, the Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle Donkey Kong Adventure episode still coming. You know, every time I'm like, okay, we're going to do it now. Then something comes up. Something comes around. Oh, we need to do this episode because this one's more current than that one. So it just becomes this vicious cycle of, well, that can wait another week.
It is the best of first world problems in that we always have some current topic to talk about recently.
Yeah, this has been a very robust season as far as topical episodes go. and that means there's not as much we can do as far as nostalgia or just games we didn't get around to initially because the physical release wasn't available in the US until this really weird situation where it just popped up in Costco and only Costco, and then it just and then by the time that came around, it wasn't as relevant to talk about. Anyway, my plan is to get to it sometime before the season is out. Anyway, a game starring just Donkey Kong and just Diddy Kong, though. So I wouldn't want it to be a puzzle game. If we're gonna take this absurd concept and really run with it, I want to have some fun with it. And I don't know. I'll let you go first, Gibbon. I need to sit
if
on
we're
this
not doing a puzzle game, my brain immediately goes to the new game that Nintendo just announced with their new IP, where you're playing the two medics who go stretcher people everywhere.
Oh yeah,
and I think that really has some legs if you wanted to do that with DK and Diddy Kong in a medical capacity.
I'll do you one better, Gibbon. Let's keep the title Stretcher, but have Dr. Lanky Kong. So that way, no, I think I like the concept of Ebola. Because it does derive from monkeys, it jumped from monkeys to humans. So maybe not Ebola, maybe a fictional version of it, because it would be in poor taste. It is a real problem. People die from it every year. But let's have some sort of fun Kong version of that. Maybe you don't bleed from your maybe you don't sweat blood, but maybe you lose potassium or something.
Banana syndrome.
Yeah. And it maybe K. Rool has jumped, because K. Rool, he's a pretty vicious dude, tried to blow up the island in a nuclear holocaust. So let's have something where he dabbles a little bit, old Baron K. Rulenstein comes out and dabbles a little bit in biological warfare, and so Donkey and Diddy Kong have to save the Kongs, save everyone from this banana deficiency, and they're I don't know, involve bananas,
something.
Yeah. I wouldn't want it to be a platformer, but maybe something along the lines of Stretcher would be fun, where you're rushing around the Congo jungle trying to save everyone from. Maybe it's something they'll permanently never be able to eat bananas again, or something they'll lose the taste for bananas if this virus takes a hold. I don't know. Something stupid. Something where they're not literally sweating
Maybe K.
blood.
Rool's the one who unleashed the banana infections that is wiping out the groves worldwide.
Oh, well, that's just depressing. You don't need to, I was let's avoid real world problems like Ebola, and you're just oh, hey, you know what? You know how else the world is going to shit? The bananas are dying.
Hey, they're bringing back the Big Mike.
The what?
The previous original bananas, the ones with the really slippery peels that you see in all the cartoons.
How are they bringing it back?
Because they had some isolated samples which weren't infected by the funguses. Because the main reason the infection takes hold is because mass-produced banana groves are done by clippings, so all the trees are genetic clones of each other. So if a thing can infect one of them, it can wipe out the entire population. So there were some isolated smaller groves that just had natural Big Mike trees that weren't just clones of each other. And so they've been gradually increasing the population of groves by actually planting banana trees instead of just doing clippings. So
that intrigues me. I would love to get my mouth around one of those, because I think
right?
in my life I've only ever had a Cavendish banana, and the red
artificial
ones too?
Banana flavoring is based off of how Big Mike's taste.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That intrigues me. Okay. Yeah, I really want to taste that now. I've also had the red bananas. The Diddy Kong
those
bananas.
are good too. I'm still on a waiting list to get a hold of some blue bananas. They're a special strain. They grow them in Hawaii. They have the consistency of soft serve ice cream and taste like banana flavored cotton candy.
I don't know how I feel about any of those words you just said.
What you should feel is that is an appropriate banana to be Lanky's color.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then I guess Chunky has the unripened bananas. We just need to figure out what the fuck Tiny's eating, and then we're good to go.
There's purple bananas.
Are there?
Yeah, like the red ones, they can be purple too.
Well, that's shit. Oh, I mean, I guess the green ones are just yellow ones, but yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I always thought the purple ones were grape flavored bananas, but then what kind of grape flavor is it? Because they're the Concord grapes. Okay. Anyway, final thoughts, Gibbon. What do you think about Dr. Mario World? I almost said tour again. Damn, yeah. Dr. Mario World.
I honestly really like it. I think I'd recommend it over just about every other mobile Nintendo game currently. If only because it's really easy to play casually and just kind of whip out and play for a few minutes and put down. You're not going to be like interrupting anything major, like if you were in the middle of a Mario Run level. And it's not like a super battery drain like Pokemon Go or whatever. And it's just a nice casual puzzle game that you can play on the go.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah. You know, I once said that It's Mr. Pants was just unfortunately timed because it was very much a victim of THQ's lack of interest and therefore poor distribution on the Game Boy Advance. But had it been an app, a mobile title in the modern day, it wouldn't have been just limited to the cartridges produced for it. It would have been exposed to a much wider audience, anyone who wanted to seek it out. And I sort of hold that type of game as the ideal for the mobile platform, at least as it currently exists. And so, you know, even if Dr. Mario isn't my favorite type of game in this genre, I really respect this a whole lot more than Mario Kart Tour and Super Mario Run. Like, I feel like this is a legitimate game that's suited for the platform it's released on. It's not just, hey, this is a recognizable IP. This is something that we can bilk people money, bilk the money out of them. This is actually like a worthwhile endeavor to put a Dr. Mario game on a mobile platform in 2019. So it's got that going for it. So do I recommend it? Again, if you have limited space on your phone and you really want to keep Tinder or Grindr on there, I wouldn't recommend deleting one of those. But if you got enough room to spare and you really want to download it, sure, go ahead. You're not going to waste any money on it, so go ahead. Right? Yeah. I got a riddle for you.
Yeah.
Okay. Ready? You like riddles?
Sure. Go for it.
All right. A man and his baby son are in a terrible accident, and they're rushed to the Mushroom Kingdom Hospital in critical condition. The doctor looks at the baby and explains, "I can't operate on this boy. He's me. How could this be?"
Time traveling warp pipe.
Yeah, they're all Mario. All three characters are Mario. That's...
This has been a File 2 production.
Que rico.